Welcome to the broadcast. Preeti Janet is our sign language interpreter and I am Ashley Mazuri. The Kenya Civil Aviation Authority has quietly closed the chapter on its land dispute with Weston Hotel, an entity associated with President William Ruto choosing a compensation deal over a full trial. The 1.7-acre plot, once flagged as critical to aviation safety, now goes to Weston. No court ruling, no ownership debate, just a quiet exit. The move follows a dramatic change of lawyers, a reshuffled leadership, and questions of political pressure. Winfrey Owino tells us what really happened behind the scenes.
At the height of the Gen Z-led protests against the Finance Bill of 2024 in June last year, a quiet legal storm was drawing to a close, far from the streets, in the corridors of justice. Behind the scenes, lawyers representing the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, KCAA, and entity associated with President William Ruto were wrapping up a 5-year legal fight over a 1.7-acre parcel of land in Nairobi's Langata area, currently occupied by the controversial Weston Hotel. The settlement was quietly filed before the Environment and Land Court in Nairobi. The legal journey began on June 24th of 2019 when KCAA moved to court accusing Weston Hotel of sitting on land that belonged to the authority. Back then, KCAA's legal team included prominent lawyers Otiende Amolo, James Orengo, and Stephen Ligungia, with Captain Gilbert Kibe serving as the Director General of KCAA. Fast forward to November 2023, when Ligungia filed a request to fast-track the matter. But just as momentum seemed to build, KCAA abruptly dropped the legal team and brought in a new firm closely linked to Charles Nyachae, a former IEBC chairperson candidate. Leadership at KCAA also shifted. Captain Kibe was reassigned to the Communications Authority, and Emil Nguza Arao took over as KCAA boss. And with that, the tone of the case began to change. On June 19, 2024, the newly appointed law firm, Nyachae and Ashitiva Advocates, told the courts that KCAA had opted to withdraw the suit, choosing instead to follow the recommendations by the National Land Commission, NLC. NLC had advised Weston Hotel to compensate KCAA by paying the current market value of the land. However, Weston maintained that it had acquired the plot legally and rightfully. Despite multiple red flags from political interference to delayed compliance with court orders and a string of tactical applications that stalled the process, the case was ultimately concluded without a full hearing on who owned the piece of land and how it changed ownership. Winfrey Owino, KTN, Nairobi.
Let's now talk about human rights. Shock and